This is Alex Wathen. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about rainy days, or in this strange Texas day, a snowy day. Looking out over my snowed-in garage, and looks like some of the trees aren't quite as snowed in. But anyway, there's snow on the ground, so I consider this either a rainy day or snowy day, depending on how you count it. But what can you do in a rainy day? The nice thing is if you're looking at bankruptcy, the good news is that you can almost always keep your home in Texas. Now, what are the exceptions to this? Well, if you haven't owned your home for 1,215 days, there is often usually a limit on the amount of equity you can have in your home and still keep it in a Chapter 7. It's about $136,000 right now. But that's, of course, only the equity after your mortgages and taxes are deducted. And most of my clients don't have much equity in your homes. So if you've owned your home for at least 1,216 days, then you don't have that problem. You can use the unlimited Texas Homestead exemption, provided, of course, that you've resided in Texas for the past, or been domiciled at least resided in Texas for the last 2 years, even though domicile, your permanent home, is what really determines exemption. So it gets a little complicated. But if you've been a long-term Texan, then as long as you owned your home for that long, you can keep it. However, if you owned another home and you had equity in that home, and the equity in your current home consists of equity transferred from your old home, then you can certainly keep that equity as well in the new home if it was transferred from the old one. Of course, this is one of the 2005 provisions of the changed law, and that can sometimes be a little difficult to interpret. So, but the good news is, now looking out on the ground, there's, among all the snow, there is some green grass still, and the trees have some snow on them, but look at the positives. Most people get to keep their homes. And if Chapter 7 doesn't work, you can always file Chapter 13 if you qualify for that. And again, most people qualify for that, but if you qualify for Chapter 13, you can keep your home regardless of whether it is exempt. So that's another good thing, that there's always the backup Chapter 13 if that doesn't work. But most people will not have much equity in the homes, and if you have no equity or very little, then that's not much of a problem. That's, of course, something we need to talk about before we go ahead and file. We also have people who just moved in from other states within the past 2 years or 730 days. You may be stuck with your old state's law instead. However, there are sometimes some loopholes with that. Some judges have ruled that the old state's laws restrictions on using the bankruptcy code exemptions don't apply to non-residents. So those are some interesting issues. But even if for some reason you cannot take advantage of the Texas homestead exemption, most people don't have that much equity. So the federal one of about $20,000, or about double that, about $40,000 for a married couple, are adequate for most people who are filing. And again, Chapter 13 is available for most people who are concerned about maybe having too much equity in their home. The good news is there's a solution for most people in most situations in bankruptcy, and to find out if that solution is going to work for you, then you need to talk to your bankruptcy attorney, such as myself and the many other qualified bankruptcy attorneys in your area as well. So look at the green grass, the plants that are still here that'll come out as the snow melts. Let the snow melt in your life and your life get back on track. Bankruptcy I see as a new beginning rather than as an end. This is Alex Wathen, and thank you so much for listening.